So I guess that means Morocco are champions of the AFCON. Even though we saw Senegal lift the trophy, we saw Pape Gueye score that banger outside the box to beat an incredible Yacine Bono. That just simply doesn't matter. Let's just erase history. Let's just erase that happened. And the rightful winners are Morocco. My gosh, this decision by the CAF completely caught me off guard. I knew there would be punishment. I knew there would have to be punishments because you can't simply walk off the pitch and expect to be completely fine. But this level of punishment, low-key, makes absolutely no sense. Doesn't even seem effective. I think it's causing more issues than solving them. So yes, I was just simply watching during the live stream, which I should have joined. We did it the 17th actually, yesterday and today. I'm making this on Wednesday of the Champions League. We did a live stream. Anyways, we did it here in the Beyond the Full-Time podcast thing. But I was watching it, and once I finished watching the Champions League, the phone was blown up. I checked Twitter, I checked everywhere, and the news are that Morocco are the rightful winners of the Africa Cup of Nations. And I was like, what is going on? And yes, that is completely correct. The CAF decided, well, after looking at the possible punishments that they could do on the Senegalese national team for their actions in the Africa Cup of Nations final, they decided that completely stripping them of their title and giving the win, a 3-0 victory to Morocco as a forfeit, was the correct decision to do for the better of the Africa Cup of Nations. As I said, there was going to be punishments that were going to be handed out to the Senegalese team, because what kind of precedent does it establish if Senegal just gets away with leaving the pitch for 15 minutes and then coming back and playing like nothing happened? But the questions were always going to be what those punishments were going to be. Well, how did the CAF land in this punishment, right? So they cited the Article 82 and 84 of the CAF, which is kind of like their rules, the procedures that they follow. Now let's begin with Article 82, which states that an attitude that disrupts the normal course of the game is deemed as a violation. Morocco, when they did their case, they stated that Senegal leaving the pitch moved and changed the entire course of the game and the normal flow of the game, which is completely valid. I mean, the players were waiting to see what would happen for 15 to 20 minutes. Now, to determine how you judge these actions taken in the Article 82 of the section, you then look at Article 84, which kind of determines the punishment that would be afforded. And in this case, it would be leaving the match, which is what the Senegalese team did, what Pape Gueye did and told his team to do, which means that Senegal should have lost the match 3-0. Now, this is 2 months after the fact, right? I feel like CAF should have bent things around, because it doesn't make sense for them to strip the title. If there was anybody that was going to decide that this team should have been forfeited, it was the referee. I don't know what the referee was doing. I understand it was a final. He probably didn't want to end the match this way, but you might as well should have just ended the match as a 3-0 victory for Morocco. That way they could lift the trophy. We could see them lift the trophy and not live through what we saw, which is a Morocco banger. I mean, a Senegalese banger scoring, lifting the trophy, making history, celebrating for 2 months, thinking that they're AFCON champions for 2 straight months, and then completely disregarding that fact. But CAF has to accept the fact that their referees were the ones that chose to not forfeit the game, were the ones that chose to keep this game going. That means that the game was played, the game was finished. Like I said, Senegal won. Allow it. Now, CAF, what they needed to do is move this punishment into something different, into the World Cup, potential suspension from the World Cup, because you want to completely not allow these type of things to go on. Because imagine, immediately I think about the time where Real Madrid was playing Bayern Munich in the Champions League, and it was like the dying moments. Bayern Munich needed one goal to tie the game, and the ball gets thrown in, and the lit shoots the ball at goal, but while it's going into goal, the referee blows his whistle and the game ends or something like that. It was weird. It was a weird thing. I don't know if he called a foul, a bad throw or something, but he blows the whistle and the ball goes in. Imagine if Bayern Munich would have walked out of the, I believe it was the Santiago Bernabeu. Imagine if Bayern Munich would have walked out of the Santiago Bernabeu. There would be mass sanctions, but you wouldn't call that game to be replayed. You wouldn't afford Bayern Munich a goal because the game got played. It happened. The referee chose to continue the game. Allow it. You don't rewrite history. And I mean, I was watching Deadball TV. He's a really good YouTuber. He explores all kinds of leagues. He's very well versed in the African continent, and actually in any continent, man. That guy's incredible. And he also agreed. I mean, you simply cannot erase the memory. You can't erase history that was made just a couple months ago. So the best case is to move forward. And he was arguing either a 6-point reduction, minus 3 points in the World Cup, or I think that it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities of taking them out of the World Cup, even though I think it would be very harsh to completely remove it from the World Cup. But you want to deter this type of behavior, and yes, this may deter the behavior, but you're just stirring more pot. I mean, now you're saying players like NDI, the Senegalese team, rightfully so, because they played that game being like, if y'all want it, come and take it. Like, the footballing world is not going to see Morocco as the rightful champions. The books may see it, but the footballing world will not. I made a whole video dedicated to Senegal winning the African Cup of Nations. And overall, I just think the way that this whole situation was managed is an absolute disaster. And immediately, what was flooded was the Jamie Carragher, man. I mean, this guy came out, a couple months ago talking about Salah, that he hasn't proven himself, and that he kind of alluded to the fact that the Africa Cup of Nations, he didn't take that competition seriously. And a lot of people bashed him. I think I bashed him even, because yes, this competition is serious. It's a continental trophy. But I mean, just the dodginess on the tournament, this whole situation that is going on with Senegal and Morocco, it's a mess. It's not making AFCON look any better. Honestly, they should have left it there. It wasn't a bad final. Footballing wise, it was a pretty good final. Apart from that, of course, as I said, you just gotta deter that type of behavior. But what can I say, man? Apparently he's over here tweeting out like DiCaprio memes about how he was right, and he got that last laugh. But yeah, guys, I guess Morocco are the winners of the AFCON. But in my eyes, that Pop Gay goal, I'm never gonna erase that from my memory. What a golazo.